Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Playing on the J-File. Today, 36 years ago today, in fact, from when I'm recording this, on December 16th, 1989, I played my very first master. His name was Erez Klein. He was 13 years old and rated 2206. And strangely enough, I drew the game. I drew my very first master due to what we call a shared hallucination. We had a completely equal endgame, and then I blundered. A big blunder. It should have cost me the game, but somehow it didn't. Let's take a look. Let's bring up the game on the big board. I was white. Erez Klein was black. I played d4. Erez played knight f6. This was a pretty early point in my chess career. I'd been playing tournaments for about 2 years on and off because I was in college at the same time. Normally I would play the Stonewall attack during this period. I'd read a book by Fred Reinfeld and I.A. Horowitz talking about the Stonewall, planning ahead in chess. That was the name of the book. But this time, against a master, I decided, no, I'm not going to play e3, the typical next move in the Stonewall attack. I play c4. I just felt that the Stonewall was probably too easy a nut for a master to crack. He plays g6. I play knight c3. He plays d5. Take on d5. He takes on d5. I play e4. He takes on c3. I take back. We have an exchange Grunfeld on the board. He plays bishop g7. I play knight f3. He plays c5. This is the book move, pressuring the center. I play bishop b5 check. This apparently is not the standard move. Erez and I looked at this game right after we played it, and he said this check is not usually played. I certainly believe him. I really didn't know what I was doing at this point. He plays knight c6. I castle. He castles. I play bishop b2. Erez also said this was a strange move. He expected the bishop to come out to e3. But instead I play bishop b2. He takes. I take back. And now he plays queen b6, pretty much forcing my reply. I have to take on c6. Takes back on b2, and now I had a grand plan. This is the type of grand plan I had. I was about 1600 at this time. I figure I'm going to let Erez take my a2 pawn. So I play rook b1. My idea was that black would be left with a weak a pawn at the end of these exchanges. So he takes. I take on b7. He takes back. I take on b7. He plays e6. This really he didn't need to play. The engine, which of course no engines back in 1989, right? This is the old days where we would just look at the game and try to figure out what we should do. He should have played simply a5. Okay, moving the pawn up to a5. If I take on e7, he plays a4. And yeah, I've got an extra pawn, but this pawn, which I thought would be weak, is actually really dangerous. So that was not such a great plan after all. But it worked out for me here. Let's go back to the game. Rook takes b7. He plays e6. I trade off the queens, takes, and right now, believe it or not, we do have a roughly equal game. He plays a4. I play g3. My reason behind g3 is I wanted to fend off any possibility of a back rank mate. I wanted to give my king a square on g2. These days, though, if I was playing this game today, I'm not going to play g3. I'm going to play instead king to f1. Because I think g3 just misses an opportunity to centralize the king, get it closer to the center. In the endgame, your king is a fighting piece. Get it out, get it going. Okay, he plays rook to d8. I play rook a4. Erez says this was the move he missed in his analysis. I've blockaded the a5 pawn, and I've covered my d pawn. Once again, we have an equal game. Now, Erez plays bishop f8. This was a mistake for him. He should not have abandoned e5. He needed to keep that going. The engine actually recommends g5 right here. so that if I were to take, knight takes on g5, he would simply take back on d4. Certainly not a move that occurred to either of us at the time. Instead, he plays bishop f8. I come in knight e5. Got a bit of an attack going here. He plays f6. I play knight c6. And he comes rook d6, hitting my knight. And now I play rook takes pawn, so I'm not really winning a pawn, because after I take that a5 pawn, he's going to take the d4 pawn at the end of it. However, I had a better move here that, 2026 technology can tell us. Actually, I guess 2025. We're a few days yet away from 2026. The engine recommends knight b8. Okay, so knight b8 would keep my initiative, and combined with a push on d5, an eventual push on d5, white is doing very well here. Of course, that move did not remotely occur to me at the time, so instead I played rook takes a5, he takes back, I take back on a5, he takes back on d4, and lo and behold, we've got a completely equal endgame here. The only difference is that he's got the bishop against the knight, and I was concerned at the time that maybe my knight was a little bit far away from the action, but I figured if I could just get that knight back over here to where things are happening, I'd be okay. Maybe I could hold this. I play f3 to cover my e4 pawn. Erez plays bishop c5. I play king g2, starting to get my king going. And Erez plays rook d2 check. This is completely an equal game. I play king h1. Erez plays rook f2, trying to get something going here. I've got to cover that pawn. I decide to cover it with my rook b3, so now I'm covering the f3 pawn. Erez moves up to e5, and I play knight c4, finally getting that knight back into the battle here. He starts activating his king f7. I play rook b2. Wait a minute, I can't play rook b2, could I? Remember, I had put that rook on b3 to cover my f3 pawn. So what does Erez do? He looks at this and decides, do I want to exchange rooks? No, that would be too equal. I'll give him a check. What? It's a shared hallucination. That's right, I hung the f3 pawn and he didn't see it. Really strange stuff. It happens. Maybe Christmas miracle for me? Don't know. I play king g2. He plays rook g1 check. I play king h3. He plays h5. I play rook e2. He activates his king to e6. I play knight e3. He plays g5. I play knight f5. That's a beautiful square for my knight. The knight is really fantastic right there. It can never be assailed. It's just doing great. Erez plays rook f1. I play king g2 to cover my f3 pawn. Erez gives me a check. I play king h3, and that is all she wrote. At this point, I offered a draw, and Erez accepted. This was not at all a result that I expected. My first game against a master, it was a draw. And here's the really weird part. We did a post-mortem right after this game. For those of you who don't know, that's something players used to do. Way back in the olden days, they would both look at the game. Doesn't happen so much, unfortunately, these days because everybody's got engines. So they maybe they figure, well, I don't really need to look at this with my opponent because I can just put it on my phone or my computer or whatever it is, and I can see what the best moves were. Well, in those days, we did post-mortems. We looked at the games move by move. And here's the weird thing, we never saw the shared hallucination where I hung my pawn on f3. We didn't see it in the game. We didn't even see it after the game when we were looking at the game. We just never saw it. It's one of those mysteries. And that's the way this ended. This was my very first game against a master way back in 1989. Actually, just to finish that topic off, I didn't see the shared hallucination until I was looking at this game 3 months later, in March of 1990. I actually wrote it in my notebook. Yeah, I kept a notebook. That was the days before ChessBase. I kept notebooks. Anyway, I wrote it in my notebook in March of 1990. Wow, I hung my pawn on f3. What do you know? Strange stuff. Okay, that's it for this edition of Playing on the J-File. I'll see you next time. And everybody have a great holiday and a happy new year.